This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, June the 19th. Well, he's dead, but, since there were no good living players around to do a birthday boy on, I decided to do on this guy. His name is synonymous with a disease, unfortunately. But his name is also synonymous with being one of the best, if not the best, first baseman in New York Yankees history. Sorry, Don Mattingly. But anyway, this guy was a legend. The Iron Horse, 17 years in baseball from 1923 to 1939, all with the Yankees. Well, in those days, it was hard to play for different teams. But he was known for his hitting and durability. Lou Gehrig is his name. Of course, he was born June 19, 1903 and died June 2nd, 1941. He only lasted 30. He wasn't even close to 38, which is sad because that's close to my age. So anyway, Lou Gehrig was an All-Star 7 straight times, a Triple Crown winner, meaning he led the American League in batting average, home runs, and RBIs, MVP twice, and 6 World Championship rings. He was good. He almost got 500 home runs / 2,000 RBIs. He missed by 7 home runs and 5 RBIs. Those totals. He was the first player, one of the first players elected to the Hall of Fame in 1939 when it had opened up, and his number 4 was the first time a baseball team retired a number permanently. Lou Gehrig was a star for Columbia University. Many major league records. He had the most career grand slams at one time, but it was surpassed by A-Rod, most consecutive games played, which was unbeatable until Cal Ripken did that in 1995. And Gehrig's consecutive game streak ended because of his own doing. May 2nd, 1939. He thought he was letting the team down. So anyway, he was 36 when he retired. He did the luckiest man on the face of the earth speech at Yankee Stadium. That's the thumbnail you see. And, he was the leading forward on the MLB All-Century team in 1999, honestly. So Lou Gehrig went to Columbia. He wanted to play for Columbia. And the funny thing is, Lou Gehrig was a pitcher at Columbia. The Yankee scouts didn't think it was pitching that would have helped him. It was his hitting and all that. So anyway, he signed a contract with the Yankees April 30th, 1923. His debut was June 15th, 1923 as a pinch hitter at age 19. He was mired behind Yankee stalwart Wally Pipp at first base. A 2-time AL home run champion, one of the best power hitters in the dead ball era. Basically, home runs were scarce until the light ball era in 1919, allegedly. So anyway, Gehrig saw limited playing time. He did decent for the 1923 and 24 Yankees, but was left off the 23 World Series roster. However, Wally Pipp had been suffering an injury and slumping, so the Yankees decided, screw it, we're going to put this guy in the lineup. And they did. They took Wally Pipp out for Lou Gehrig. Gehrig proved his worthiness, especially 20 home runs in 1926, 20 triples in 1926, 47 doubles, 16 home runs, and 112 RBIs. He was producing everything. So he was a gifted position player. Yes, he lost the 1926 World Series to the Cardinals in 7 games, but still, he was on the rise. And 1927 just was better. I mean, Murderers Row, the Yankees were that damn dominant, especially in the World Series against Pittsburgh. He put up 373 hitting, a batting average, 218 hits. That included 18 triples and 47 round trippers, and 175 RBIs, which broke Babe Ruth's record at the time. It was huge. Ruth and Gehrig were the 3-4 hitters. Opposing teams were scared shitless about this. He was named league MVP, even though Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in the 1927 thing. Anyway, the Yankees in 1929 decided to add uniform numbers to their jerseys. Gehrig would wear number 4, Babe Ruth would wear number 3. That's the way their batting order would be. All that. Lou Gehrig was an icon, and in 1932 he got his triple crown, winning a batting average, home run. No, sorry, that's not 32. My fault. But anyway, he did hit 4 home runs in the game 1932 against the Philadelphia Athletics, and almost got to 5. But Al Simmons made a leaping catch and another fly ball at the fence. Anyway, the worst part about that 4 home run game for Lou Gehrig was that John McGraw, the famous New York Giants manager, of course, the Giants used to be in New York before going to San Francisco, announced his retirement and destroyed Gehrig in the newspaper articles. Anyway, Gehrig lived with his parents until he was 30 years old in 1933. His mom actually ruined all Gehrig's romances until Eleanor came in and all that. She was the daughter of a Chicago Parks Commissioner. Anyway, Eleanor would help Gehrig get from underneath his mother's shadow and hired a sports agent. And got Gehrig to be the first Wheaties box athlete. Wow. Gehrig won the 1934 Triple Crown with a 363 batting average, 49 home runs, 166 RBIs. That's amazing. All that. Anyway, Lou Gehrig allegedly was going to be Tarzan in 1936, but his legs forced the advertising group to go with Glenn Morris, the 1936 decathlon champion. But yeah, as I said when I did my On This Day on June 2nd, no, on May 2nd, I talked about Gehrig's streak and all that. So yeah, Gehrig was started in place of Wally Pipp, June 2nd, 1925. Pipp never got his spot back. And Gehrig was just obliterating everything. As I said, he had some kind of problems and all that. And he was just shocking. Gehrig's 2,130 games were there for 56 years. Unfortunately, illness would catch up with him, and he basically did not have a good career. May 2nd, he decided to retire, and then, of course, his condition became steadily worse and all that. The Mayo Clinic wanted Gehrig in as soon as possible, and it was diagnosed on June 19, 1939. Ironically, Gehrig's 36th birthday, that he had ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. Basically, his life expectancy was less than 3 years. His paralysis would be bad and all that. So anyway, Gehrig had a lot of issues and all of that. So anyway, he retired and all of that. And on the 4th of July, 1939, it was Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day at Yankee Stadium. Yankees would take on Washington. Between games of the doubleheader, they would do a thing for Lou Gehrig. It was huge. Over 61,000 fans were there. And his speech was impactful. I'll read you part of it. Fans, for the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad break. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it a privilege to associate yourself with such fine-looking men as that are standing in this ballpark today? I'm lucky. When the New York Giants, a team you give your right arm to beat, and vice versa, sends you a gift, that's something. When everybody down to the groundskeepers and those boys in white coats remember your trophies, that's something. When you have a wonderful mother-in-law who takes sides with you and squabbles with her own daughter, that's something. When you have a father and mother who work all their lives so you could have an education and build your body, it's a blessing. When you have a wife who has been a tower of strength and shown more courage than you dreamed existed, that's the finest I know. So I close in saying that I may have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you. So only 4 sentences existed in recorded form because, traditionally, recording stuff back in the 1930s wasn't as big as it was now. Anyway, it was so touching. Babe Ruth accompanied Lou Gehrig there too. So anyway, he didn't know what to do. However, Gehrig accepted Mayor LaGuardia's appointment to a 10-year term as New York City Parole Commissioner. And was sworn into office January 1940 because Gehrig had his firm belief in parole properly administered. Unfortunately, his physical condition made it impossible, and a month before he died, he had to step down. Again, just like with the Yankees, if Gehrig was better, he could reclaim his stuff, but no, he couldn't. So he died June 2nd, 1941, and all of that. Major League ballparks had their flags at half-mast in the city of New York, obviously. I mean, it was huge and all that. So, anyway, Eleanor would never remarry after Lou's death, but she did dedicate her life to supporting ALS research and died in 1984. So, Lou Gehrig was a strange guy, but he was a great RBI person. 509 RBIs in a 3-season stretch. Only Jimmy Fox and Hank Greenberg did that. 500 RBIs in any 3 seasons. All that. Gehrig had 1,300 plus RBI seasons, which he shared with Jimmy Fox and tied by Alex Rodriguez. He has the most RBIs in AL history with 185 in 1931, and only second to Hap Wilson's 191 from 1930. So he did a lot. A lot of comparisons with Ruth, but he was the better fitting and all that. At age 36, he was the youngest player to be put into the Hall of Fame. Sandy Koufax would surpass that in 1972. There was no formal induction ceremony. But in 2013, Gehrig was inducted in special tribute during the induction ceremony. Lou Gehrig had a plaque at Mandelman Park, July 6, 1941. And lots of things have happened. ALS is now called Lou Gehrig's disease in honor of him. I don't know if that was good or not. But anyway, yeah, he was a legend and all that. And on July 4th, 2009, the MLB decided to say that the 4th of July would be a day to honor people with ALS and all that. So it was huge and all that. Gehrig's life was the subject of the 1942 film The Pride of the Yankees, with Gary Cooper as Lou Gehrig. It got 11 Academy Awards, but only won 1. Film editing. Babe Ruth, Bob Musil, Mark Keeney, and Bill Dickey played themselves in that one. And in 2008, it was named the 3rd best sports picture ever made. So anyway, it was just amazing and all that. His digital likeness and the opening quote of the baseball's Gettysburg Express was in All-Star Baseball 2004. That's right. It was, I've All-Star Baseball 2005, but anyway, yeah, it was amazing and all that. And Lou Gehrig was featured as a legend in the Legends team for All Star Baseball, but you know, Lou Gehrig is still number one on everyone's list. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.